things first, you have a story. Whether if you're just starting out of college or taking it to the next level, your LinkedIn profile can help you bring your story to life. I'll help you explore today how to build your profile that can tell your story the way you want it to be told. Today, we're going to look at how to choose your profile picture, create a custom headline to introduce yourself and your summary, show your impacts and results with rich media and your work experience. Finally, we're going to show how to incorporate your skills, endorsements, and recommendations into your profile. But before we get started, I want to introduce my team for today. We have my co-host, which is we have Noel Bazzi, the Internship and Study Abroad Coordinator at the Harrington Center. We also have two student leader panels who will be participating in a panel towards the end of the event. They are Roosevelt Harris Williams, current Student Government Vice President, and Leah Tremendozzi, Student Government former Vice President. Today, you'll walk away feeling energized and empowered to build your profile the way you want it and the way that represents you. Are you ready? Let's dive in. How do you define success? LinkedIn believes success is when you are and lines up with what you do. A great way to bring your unique success story to life is through your LinkedIn profile. Your profile will help you get recognized, open doors to new opportunities, and it'll give you the credibility to showcase your brand and tell your story. So, what exactly is a profile, you ask? Your LinkedIn profile includes content such as videos, photos, and presentations that allow you to bring your work to life and help your professional community connect with who you are and what you do. LinkedIn wants to showcase who you are, the incredible work that you've done, and the impacts you make throughout your life. Remember, no matter how you define success, it all starts with a LinkedIn profile. Getting ready to take advantage of the many ways to showcase your unique skills and talents by building a dynamic profile that really represents you. Do you have YouTube videos that you created? Let's say you took some photos from some events. Even a website you might be created. Congratulations, you can add all these things to your LinkedIn profile. We're also having a sort of question per question in between each block. So if you guys want to just jump in and if you guys have any questions regarding the topic, feel free to answer. So right now we're opening up to any questions if we have any.
I have a question.
Yes.
Hi, so is LinkedIn, could you use it for personal things or is it more of a professional website?
So LinkedIn is more for professional community, but definitely I would recommend using LinkedIn just to have a way to connect more with your professional outputs. For example, I wouldn't create a LinkedIn similar as a Facebook because there's not a lot of connections, professional connections at least, in that sort of platform compared to LinkedIn, where you can find dozens and tons of connections that are professional.
So are all your friends on LinkedIn, are they usually people that you know or maybe connections from your community?
Well, it can actually work for both. I have connections both from my community and some of them are my friends that are in the professional communities as well.
Oh, so it's like a way of making like networking and stuff like that?
That's right.
Okay, cool.
Any more questions? Awesome.
Ralph, I have one.
Yes?
Can you treat it like any other social media, or should it be more like what are the do's and don'ts of what you should post, I guess?
Well, definitely you should post things that come out and represent you as your professional community. So let's say you are part of it. So let's say you volunteered at a certain event this weekend. You might want to post that on LinkedIn to really showcase what you do on your free time rather than just working all the time. Another great way to really showcase what you do on LinkedIn is pretty much just having specific events that they're geared to or that have a specific prime within your major or your area of study that can be also posted on your LinkedIn event. But like I said, I wouldn't post anything that's not really professional or really does not really aim towards the professional community that you have connected on LinkedIn.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. So a brand is what others say about you when you aren't in the room. This quote is from Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon. And this quote sums up the importance of building a personal and professional brand. A personal brand defines the sum of total experiences someone has with you and is often based on the values you bring and the promises you make. Now, how can you communicate these experiences you create with others? When creating a LinkedIn profile, it's important to differentiate yourself from others who are in the same industry or hold a similar title like you. This is where your branding comes in. Perhaps you're seeking out a recommendation from a teammate that talks about experiences when you collaborated together on a project. However you want to connect with people into your brand, make sure to do it in your own way that's authentic and genuine. Remember, you don't have to create your brand alone. Others can always help you out. A great place to start is by turning to your professional community and ask them some key questions such as, and what words will you use to describe the work I did for you? You can ask teammates, mentors, and managers after a conversation with me, what top 3 words will you describe for me today? And finally, you can even ask some friends and partners and leaderships, what can you count on me for? Remember to ask a diverse group of people to get a broad perspective of who you really are and what you bring to the table. That way, you can evolve your profile from your story, and you can be uniquely your own on LinkedIn. According to LinkedIn Profile, people with a profile picture receive up to 9 times more connection requests than people without a photo. Think adding a photo onto your LinkedIn profile doesn't have a large impact? Think again. When adding or updating a profile photo, make sure to use a high-quality photo with good lighting on a neutral background. Or maybe just a simple headshot. Are you someone with a more creative personality and wants a blurred cityscape effect like the iPhone camera? After all, LinkedIn is a professional community, so aim for a professional photo, solo if possible. Finally, remember that your profile picture does not have to be a professional headshot necessarily, but in fact, it needs to represent you. You can also upload a picture of your profile by snapping a photo on your mobile phone or camera and uploading it to your LinkedIn profile. A photo is really worth 1,000 words, so be sure to add a uniquely and quality good photo that has been updated regularly and has good lighting and unique features that represent you. So, what is a LinkedIn headline? Your headline is a short one-liner that appears underneath your name along with your profile. It also shows up on your home feed along with your photo every time you post or publish your content on LinkedIn. Did you know that if you don't update your headline, it will auto default to the most recent position listed within your work experience? Your LinkedIn headline is an opportunity for you to represent your professional brand and differentiate yourself from others right off the bat. Your headline is often the first thing people see along with your profile photo that people will also see before clicking on your profile. So you want to create something compelling, customizable, and representative of you. Where do you begin? When creating a customized headline, you want to think of what we call the big 3. Using industry keywords, like for example, assistant, manager, role model, using what role you have in the specific location, and analyzing your skills and passions. Now, you have everything in your fingertips to craft a headline that will help you stand out and differentiate yourself, your brand, and that can represent you. I can't wait to see what you guys create. This is a perfect example of a customizable headline that you can grasp the brand and clearly represent who you are. Roosevelt has the perfect idea. Do you have any questions? Awesome. So you can think of your profile summary as an elevator pitch. So what is an elevator pitch? An elevator pitch is kind of like a brief, persuasive speech that you use to spark up interest or an idea within a conversation. It shouldn't take less than 30 seconds. It should take less than 30 seconds overall. It should be a true introduction to who you are that is concise and speaks about your mission, motivation, key skills, and your experience. It should also feature many words that are relevant to your industry or the work you do. And lastly, this is your time to shine. So make sure to showcase your accomplishments and aspirations within your profile summary. Believe me, I know writing a summary about yourself can be intimidating. So let's dive in and give you a format that can help you get started. Think of your profile summary as an introduction to who you are, what you do, what you do matters to you, and what contributions or impacts you have made overall. However you choose to tell yours, make sure to bring front and center your summary by highlighting your contributions, impacts, and accomplishments. Here are some quick tips to use for your profile summary. I highly recommend you use more than 40 words within your actual summary to really grasp the story that you're trying to persuade. I also suggest you use a first-person narrative when drafting your summary. And last but not least, include rich media. Here we have Leah with an amazing example on how you have a perfectly outlined summary. Leah included everything that she currently does and everything she aspires to be. Good job, Leah. Do we have any questions? Awesome. Okay, so take this moment to close your eyes. Imagine you're sitting across a table from a 10-year-old kid and you have to explain to them what you do. What's more is that you have to explain to them how and what makes your job different. If you're struggling, don't worry, you aren't alone. When it comes to talking about our work, experiences, accomplishments, results, and impacts, many of us find it difficult to articulate what we do and what we really mean to do. This isn't your resume, so it shouldn't read like one. Your results, accomplishments, impacts, and experiences are more genuine when they come from you. Use short, concise paragraphs in a story format to bring your career journey to life. Only bring the bulletin points to really emphasize key points and impacts. And trust me, everyone has a story. So use your own work experience section to lean in and really describe your own story to the highest extent. Aim to find your results and aim to explain your results, accomplishments, and impacts and experience. Regardless of what you do, adding your current position within your work experience section can help your profile shine. Having rich media as a visual content can include such things as videos, photos, presentations, and even websites that show examples of the work you do and helps your audience visualize what you mostly are aiming for. I usually recommend your summary and work experience section as an important place to add rich media and to help you tell your story. So bring your work to life by adding photos, videos, and presentations to your profile to connect your community to your experience. I'm really excited what you all have to add. Do we have any questions? Okay. So, adding skills to your profile allows you to highlight your abilities, strength, and expertise, and a way to build your credibility among peers, colleagues, managers, and even some recruiters. So why? Because third-party validating your skill set says that you have more trust built in and more credibility when it comes to your professional experience. And adding these key skills along your name will actually, in fact, have a much likelihood of being discovered up to 20 times more in searches and receiving up to 17 times more views on your profile overall. So that's a great way to really be out there and really get recognized by having a few skill sets. Now,
hey Rob, I think there was a raised hand. So if that person wants to ask the question.
Yes, Marcos? You have a question, Marco?
Maybe not. Okay, no worries.
Cool. I'll use the raise hand. Awesome. Okay. So, why do endorsements matter to you? When connecting endorsers for a skill, it can only strengthen your profile and it increases the likelihood of being discovered for real opportunities within your skill set. Don't forget that LinkedIn will categorize your skill sets into expertise area that are based within your industry knowledge, tools, technologies, interpretation skills, language, and other skills you might offer to the table. I highly recommend that you have up to 50, which is a maximum number of skills that you can really represent yourself with. Start building credibility and add as much as you want, as much skill sets as you want to really represent the amazing professional that you really are. A great way to build a foundation is your profile is through recommendations. A recommendation recognizes the great work you've done and also provides specific examples of your skill sets, strengths, and experiences overall. So where do you begin with these recommendations? First thing you want to do is request a recommendation through LinkedIn. The best way to practice is I always recommend customizing your recommendation request instead of using the generic template LinkedIn provides. Why? It's a great way to pinpoint exactly what you want the other person to focus on when they write the recommendation. So go on, request that recommendation. You've got this. Last but not least, send them a draft to really help them out. By sending a draft, you can actually help the actual person who's writing the recommendation letter for you skip step one and actually help them pinpoint exactly what you want the other person to focus on. Do you have any questions?
I just have a question about endorsements, Ralph. I think when I first started my LinkedIn account, I was really hesitant to reach out and ask for endorsements. But can you go into whether it should be a reciprocal thing or if you should just go for it and just ask anybody?
Definitely. So when it comes to endorsements, I would highly recommend that you just go for it. A lot of people that you worked with, let's say in a previous event or you worked on a project together, you can just ask them directly with a quick message, asking them just to overall endorse you on a specific skill set that you have listed in your profile, or you guys, or what I like doing is that if you endorse me, I'll just, and we worked on a similar project, I'll endorse you back, and as a way to really much show that, we are, this is a social media page and we want to make sure that everything's being, tested and overall being combated back. Marcos, do you have a question? I don't think he does. Okay, cool. So now we have our student panel discussion. We have Roosevelt Harris Williams, class of 2023. He's a Presidential Blue Key Society. He's also the current Vice President of Student Government Association, and his major is Business Administration and Political Science. Do you want to introduce yourself? Would you like to introduce yourself, Roosevelt? I think you're muted. There we go. We can hear you. Nope.
You are muted, Roosevelt.
Sorry about that, guys. I couldn't unmute myself. It said the host had to. Hello, all. Ralph, I thank you for extending an invitation for me to join this panel today. Like Ralph said, my name is Roosevelt Harris Williams. I attend Kobe Sawyer with a major in business administration and minor in political studies, class of 2023, and currently I serve as Presidential Blue Key Society member and as well as the Student Government Vice President.
Thank you, Roosevelt. And next we have Leah Tremendozzi. She is class of 2021. She's a marketing intern at Batfier Incorporated. She is the former vice president for Student Government Association, and she is a business administration major with a double major in communication studies. Sorry about that.
Hi, you basically said it all. I also work at for the communications department here at the college, and I also am still in student government as a class of 2021 secretary. But other than that, that's pretty much it.
Well, thank you so much for having both of you here, and I'm really happy that you guys can make it out tonight. So I'm just gonna ask you a few questions on pretty much on what LinkedIn what people expect on LinkedIn, and overall, I'll give you guys the same amount of time. So I'll ask the question, and then either Leah or Roosevelt can start, and then we'll just hop around. It's only 3 questions, so we can just get the ball rolling. So first with Leah, and then we'll go to Roosevelt. Should I accept connection from anyone who connects from me on LinkedIn?
So personally, I am more conservative with who I connect with. I generally accept connections from people I know personally and professionally, and people who have mutual connections to me. Recently, I've been accepting connections from people who I went to high school with, who I've been out of touch with. So it's cool to see the internships and full-time positions that they're all landing now. I will say I have received messages from recruiters and salespeople in the in-mail and like the direct messaging. And I've actually chosen not to accept their connection request because it wasn't what I was interested in at the time.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And Roosevelt, same question. Should I accept any connection from anyone who connects with me on LinkedIn?
Yeah, Ralph, I think that is a great question. When I think about connections on LinkedIn, and normally what happens is when people send me connections on LinkedIn, I try to look at their page and I try to see if we have any mutual friends. And if we have any mutual friends, I would send that person that we're mutual friends of a chat and say, hey, for example, Ralph Gonzalez sent me an invitation on LinkedIn. Should I accept and why? Some people normally accept all invitations, but I would highly recommend for you to connect with your mutual friend and see if it's okay to accept that person's invitation. Great question.
No, you guys make really good points. Thank you so much for bringing those up. It does have to do a lot with the type of industry you're looking for. So those are definitely good points to bring up. Thank you both of you. So second question is, how often should you update your own profile?
So I update my experience section every time I come to a conclusion of a position or at the beginning of a new position. I like to keep my profile as current as possible to ensure it is an accurate representation of my current positions. In the time that I've been active on LinkedIn, I've tweaked my about section about once every semester. With graduating soon, I will have to update it in the spring to align with my goal of landing a full-time marketing position. I don't often write my own posts. I only have done it when I've landed internships. So it's been about literally 3 or 4 times. But I make use of the share button, the feature to repost posts that resonate with me. And I'm quite active in terms of interacting with my connections posts. So I like to like them and share and celebrate and stuff like that. So I honestly go on LinkedIn about once a day.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And Roosevelt, how often do you update your profile?
Yeah, I think my question is almost about the same as Leah's. I try to update my profile as soon as I've accepted a new role or accepted a new job. But sometimes I like to be very clear in my responsibilities of that role. So for example, if I'm given a new responsibility, I like to keep that as updated as possible as well.
Thank you. And you guys make really good points when actually analyzing the sort of connections you make on LinkedIn and the type of posts you make. I'm a person that doesn't post as much either. So I do share a lot of things. I do repost a lot of things from other people, which is always a great way to repost. So I call that, I call that secondary posting. Even though I don't post it myself, I kind of just letting people know that other people have great ideas that didn't come from me. So last question, for Leah, explain a time when having a LinkedIn profile helped you achieve within your field.
So I can speak on this. This past March, when I was interviewing for my summer marketing internship that has since turned into part-time work this fall semester, I found out after the fact that my boss, my now coworkers, and the president of the organization all stalked my LinkedIn account after meeting with me. They said that in addition to my resume, my cover letter, and my portfolio, my LinkedIn account sealed the deal for them.
Wow, that's definitely good to hear. I mean,
yeah.
LinkedIn. And Roosevelt, same question for you. Explain a time when having a LinkedIn profile helped you achieve in your field.
Yeah, I think this is my favorite question out of all 3 questions. For me, before I answer the question, I just want to recommend that normally when you have people to view your LinkedIn profile, you're like, oh my God, I know this person, they view my profile. And the amazing part about that is normally when people view your profile, they've learned something that they didn't know about you prior. They learned skills that they didn't know that you had, or abilities that they didn't know that you had. But to answer the question more specifically, I've connected with a sergeant in Illinois, and he was like, oh my God, I didn't know that, you know, you had some of these skills. And like I just said earlier, connect me back to that point. When you have people to look at your profile, it not only allows you to share your abilities, but it allows you to widen your network and to learn more people, no matter if that's your strategic network, your personal network, or your executive network.
Thank you so much, Roosevelt. Thank you. You both made awesome points today, and I really want to thank you both for really coming out here tonight. And I know you guys have a busy schedule, having, you know, college lives and all, but really thank you for taking the time out today and to answer these questions and to show the community that you are student leaders and you're well been equipped to really take on that LinkedIn profile and really showcase what you are and your story.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you, Leah and Roosevelt.
No problem.
I wanted to, if you don't mind, I just wanted to see if the students had any questions for you at all.
Yeah.
Give them a second to kind of group and see if they have anything. And then, I don't know, my question was, I feel like students, because it's one of the requirements for the Harrington Center that, you know, you have to make a LinkedIn account, and they just kind of, they do it. And then I think it's completely forgotten about, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what is it that in you guys that you didn't do that? I mean, was it just that you just used it to its full potential, or what was it about it that made it useful to you? Like, because this isn't the normal kind of social media that college students are normally into. And I just want to know how did that kind of turn around for you, that you actually felt like this would be of great use to you?
For me, I think it was like that I saw some of my peers using it really well that were older than me. So I first made my LinkedIn sophomore year because that's when I got my first internship. And I didn't know anything about LinkedIn at the time. I thought it was just for adults. And then I saw seniors using it in the business major. And I was like, oh, like you can do a lot with this. And then I also started looking for internships that following summer. And I noticed that there was a jobs tab. I never noticed it before. And then I started making my profile a lot cleaner, a lot better, and more specific, because before I just did the bare minimum as well. But once it kind of came to like finding a job and finding an internship through LinkedIn, that's when I really spiced up my profile.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And Roosevelt?
Yeah, great question, Noel. I think for me, I think Ralph spoke about earlier that LinkedIn is not a resume, but for me, honestly, I would view LinkedIn as a digital resume, kind of something like on a go. If you are in a business setting or a business industry and you don't have business cards with you, you can view my LinkedIn profile. But to answer your question more pointedly is the fact that when you're always on the go and you're always looking to widen your network and you're always looking for job opportunities, LinkedIn gives you that opportunity, and you don't have to go in and grab applications or et cetera. You can just set your profile that you're looking for jobs, and those jobs will automatically come to you.
Makes it a lot easier. Thank you.
Well, thank you again, guys, for your contributions and your responses. Really, this will all be recorded, so if you guys want to ever go back and look at it, it'll be there.
You're muted, Ralph.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. I was just backtrack a little bit. So I want to say thank you again for your responses and your contributions today. They really make a huge impact in this event. Now, Rob, I'm opening up the floor for any more final questions, not only about the event, but just in case anything or anything about the presentation, about your LinkedIn profile, even your profile picture. Really, it's just an open floor. So I'll leave it open to see if anybody wants to ask a question or two.
So I'm a little new to LinkedIn, but I just wanted to know if we've had experience from the past that we want to add to our LinkedIn profile. Does does that service allow us to date pictures and events and things like that? Or most of the things that are posted are just like up to date, like whenever you post them? I know that that's a bit of a confusing question, but if anything, let me clarify.
Yeah, great question. Actually. So everything that you post on LinkedIn actually has, you can actually put the timetable of when it was taken, or when it was uploaded, or when it was actually created. Now, if you want to fix or reorder your LinkedIn profile, there's an option for you to reorder on how you want the viewer seeing your profile to see all your contributions and your overall story within your actual LinkedIn profile. So yeah, you can pretty much list anything, or to answer your question, you can list dates on specific events, and you can overall grow your LinkedIn profile. Even though it's not modern, you can add stuff from the past to really show your contributions over the years.
Okay, cool. I'm so excited to get started.
I can also speak on this. I've used the feature too. So in your experiences, so for one of mine, it was like that I was a videographer, photographer for a senior center thing. And when they went to Washington, D.C. Last summer. And so in the experience part, I put like 4 of my favorite photos and a video. So if you want to attach it to your experiences, it lets you add photos without having to like post separately.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Any more questions before we wrap up? Alrighty. So I'll take that as a no. I want to just show a little quick video on a LinkedIn profile on how it should pretty much look. But this is my profile, so I'm just going over what we did in the whole presentation. I'm gonna show my LinkedIn profile, my about section, overall my experience and my education portion, along with my endorsements, skills, and recommendations. So you can see an overall gist of how a LinkedIn profile should look. And we can also get connected after the event. So you guys can also have our profiles as form of templates, so you guys can really go on and conquer your profile. So I screen recorded this, fun fact. So when you guys have the app, you guys can just literally go on your profile. As you can see on my profile picture, I have a neutral background that Leah actually took, fun fact. So it's overall trying to show that I'm a professional person. So when you go down, you see my headliner, so it overall shows my experience. Last but not least, my about section talks about what I want to be and what I aspire to within my summary. Along with, I have a Biden campaign letter recommendation attached as rich media. So that really profounds the type of work I do, and it shows that the areas that I really want to shine in. And then when you go down to your activity, you'll see all the posts that you recommented, all the posts that you shared, or even the posts that you'll post yourself. Going down to the experience portion, you can see how it's all listed per dates. And if you click on each of them, you can actually find sort of like a story format, not a bulletin board, of what I do and what I contributed within the actual job description. So going down to the education portion, is just overall showing what I've done and my licenses, along with my certifications and my volunteerships, to pretty much overall have the overall to overall have the LinkedIn profile come together and showcase who I am at the end of the day. Last but not least, we have skills and endorsements. So anyone, like I said, can endorse you on specific skills that you worked together on projects before. So getting as much endorsements is great. And even LinkedIn can endorse you yourself. So if you, let's say you're good in Outlook, for example, you can take a LinkedIn quiz, and LinkedIn can actually give you the credibility that you need to showcase that you're not only endorsed by other people, but LinkedIn endorse you as well. Last but not least, we have the accomplishments and languages that they can put on, and your contact information. So this is all a way to pretty much showcase what a LinkedIn profile should look like. Like Roosevelt and Leah's LinkedIn page look identical to mine. So definitely try to use our pages as form as templates to really move on and showcase your true power. Thank you again to everyone who participated and joined our first annual Let's Get Connected event. I took the liberty of adding our LinkedIn links so we can be able to get connected at the end, because let's get connected. In addition, don't forget to connect with the Harrington Center on LinkedIn, and a very special thank you for making this event possible to Noel and Jen Tuckman. Thank you again for attending, and go conquer your profiles. Thank you again.